Alternate residential investments. When you're thinking of alternate residential property investments, what that really means is outside of the traditional house and land, unit, townhouse, what type of investments are there? So to give you an idea, you can actually even combine things like duplexes, dual occupancies, triplexes, unit blocks into alternate residential. If you decide to keep them separate, well, what is alternate residential? These are assets where you've got boarding potential, perhaps rent out to Airbnb, perhaps unit blocks of 4 and beyond certain unit blocks of 4. Really, with alternate investments, you can even throw in development blocks, subdivisions, renovating deals. They're just more for your active investors. When thinking of why you'd want to look at adding alternate residential property, it's because you're trying to accelerate your goal without having to wait for a particular market movement. So example, if you buy a home and maybe you're thinking of, great, I like the location, I like the the drivers of this place, I like the cash flow based on where it's at. I think this property has great long-term potential. So when you're thinking of that, it still has an element of, I'm going to sit back, wait for it to grow and see where it takes me. Now with alternate residential, the potential is actually quite exciting. So if you're thinking of maybe a boarding deal or a rooming deal, this is a type of deal when you maybe go buy a 4-bedroom home, start to do some renovations and make it compliant for renting out per room. So you could very easily see your cash flow or your yield percentage move from about 4 to 6% in some residential deals, or even in the 3s, up to about 8 to 16%. What that can do for your cash flows is very, very positive. So is this going to be the first deal you add to the portfolio? Maybe not. But once you've built that foundation of assets, this is when you might start to go into more complex or more cash flow driven or manufactured environments. Now, when you go into another example, maybe subdivisions, this is when you're trying to not wait for the market to do something. You're trying to create or manufacture movements in price or value in that market. Now, if you're thinking of moving in a portfolio or building a portfolio that takes you towards your goals of financial freedom or that freedom of choice, or create some sort of passive environment, doing that just through buying a house, owning it, buying a house, owning it, unit or townhouse, this can take many things. And by many things, I mean a long amount of time, or a lot of debt pay down, or not buying too much so you can just focus on these couple of assets to get debt free. Now, when you start moving into alternate residential, you can speed up the timeline quickly through either that manufactured passive income or manufactured equity and growth. Next time you're doing your research, why not consider a bit of both? Alternate residential, what's out there, as well as your regular land, houses, unit townhouses, to see when the right time might be right for you to fit that as part of your portfolio. That's it from us here at InvestorKit, the experts in wealth creation, helping you take action.